Hi everybody. It was so lovely to receive some comments and messages from you after my last practice online, to know that you're all still getting onto your mat and taking care of yourself. I feel like this is a way that we can stay connected during this time. I've done another practice, and this one's focusing on if you're sitting a lot, working from home, we're going to be releasing the lower back, taking some pressure off the spine, opening up through the hips, and some release for the neck and shoulders. You'll need a towel or a couple of blocks, and that will just be to start with so we can lie across them and open up the chest. So press pause, go grab a towel or some blocks, and we can get started. Okay, so to start with, you can have a rolled up towel. I've got a bath towel here, just making it long so that it supports your spine and the back of your head. Alternatively, if you have a block, you can place it between the shoulder blades, two height options, and then giving yourself some support for the back of the head. And we're going to have our hips onto the mat, and then we just slowly ease ourselves down so that our spine is supported, and taking the arms out wide to open the chest. And then choosing if you would like to have your knees bent and softly resting towards each other, soles of the feet together, knees wide, or you could take the legs out straight. Let's take a few moments to settle into that position, letting the spine settle. And then we can start to invite the breath into the soft belly, letting your inhale expand the belly, the side of the lungs, and nurturing into the back of the lungs. Dissolving into the exhalations, letting the exhalations be completed as the body softens. So as you exhale, there's a sense of the whole body exhaling. And after a few centering breaths, once we are established in the comfortable breath, we can start to lengthen and deepen the breath a little, giving attention to both the inhale and the exhale. And resting in the spaces between each breath. So there's some stillness that follows the exhalation before the body invites the inhalation. We can just let the mind come into some stillness there. Just one more complete breath. So if you are lying on some supports, we're just going to slowly release off those. If you're lying on the ground already, we can stay where you are. We'll just bring the knees so that they're bent together, ground the feet, turn the palms down, and just slowly sitting up. Careful not to move too quickly through these transitions. And then we can just slowly lie back down and draw the knees into the chest, holding onto the top of your shins. And just some gentle circular movements or side-to-side movements. Observing the sensations through the lower back and the top of the hips here. It's balancing in both directions if you're working in a circular movement. It's keeping our collarbones soft, chest soft. And then coming to the center, keep holding onto your left knee, and we'll take the right leg long along the ground. We want to open up through the front of the right hip and thigh, inhaling into the soft belly. As you exhale, you might like to explore the left knee coming a little closer up towards the left armpit. We just want to be mindful that we don't lift the front of the hip on that right side or thigh. So the priority here is opening the front of the right hip and thigh. If you feel any strong compression or pinching into the hip socket on the left side, then just gently easing out a little if there's any impingement taking place. And we'll take the left arm out wide. Your right leg can come across just slightly towards the left side a little. And then bringing the left knee into the twist as we exhale. Option here is to support the left foot onto the inside of the straight leg. Or we could take the foot over to the ground. The right hand is just resting gently on the thigh. So I'm not pulling the thigh into the twist. We don't want to create too much separation of the hips from the spine there by pulling the leg into the twist. Nurturing the left side of the lungs with the inhale. Softly lengthening left shoulder blade down as you exhale. And slowly coming back into the center, staying with that left knee bent towards the chest. We'll bend the right knee and take your left ankle to the top of the right thigh. We can open the left knee out wide. Choose to stay there if that's already quite opening for your left hip, or we can take hold of the back of the right thigh or the top of the shin. Just keeping our shoulders relaxed. And breath moves into the soft belly. With a sense of the breath traveling the full length of your spine. You can also use your left elbow here just gently to press that left knee out a little wider if that helps to move a little deeper into the release of the hip muscles. Okay, so continuing to hold on to the back of the right thigh or the top of the shin. And we'll release the left ankle off the top of the thigh, taking your left leg out straight, slowly down to the ground. We can adjust to hold onto the top of the shin. With the breath, slowly drawing the right knee a little closer to the right armpit. Keeping this left thigh grounded, so just being careful that we haven't lifted the thigh up. We're trying to open space up here if we've been sitting a lot. Notice where we have space and where we have nurturing compression. So the right arm comes out wide, and taking your left leg just a little towards the midline or the right side of the mat as we exhale, right knee across into the twist. Choosing to support with the foot to the inside of the straight leg or down to the ground. Just lightly press, touching thigh if you would like to with the left hand. There's no pulling down on that thigh. Inhale into the right side of the lungs. Grounding the right shoulder blade with your exhale, lengthening that breath out to the soft part of the right wrist. And then just gently coming back to the center. The right knee will come up into the chest. Left knee will bend. Ground your foot. Take the right ankle to the top of the left thigh, opening the knee wide. Choosing to stay there or hold on to the back of the thigh or the top of the shin. So just be mindful here that we don't twist the hips. So we want to keep the side waist about the same length on the left and the right side, so we're not hitching that right hip up. And if you want to, you can encourage the left thigh a little closer with the right elbow, gently pressing, opening the right hip. Sometimes we see this left leg extended up into the air. Try to keep it relaxed so there's no unnecessary activation of the muscles here. Full breath. Complete exhalation. And we can gently release, bringing your knees together towards the chest, relaxing shoulders, and taking one arm up over the head and rolling towards that side, just resting the head, pausing there for a breath or two for a slow, gentle transition. And then we'll make our way up to the hands and the knees. Try to be centered onto your mat so there's some space of the fingertips to the top edge of the mat. Start with a neutral spine and a breath through the center. Then softening your elbows, dropping the belly down as you open the chest, open the throat if suitable for your neck. And exhaling, tailbone draws under, we drop the head to the heart space. Inhaling, soft elbows, invite the whole spine to the movement. And exhaling, gently rounding through. One more time, inhaling, there's an opening of your front body and a compression gently through the back body. And exhaling to feel an opening of the back body and a gentle compression of your front body. Inhale to a neutral spine. We'll tuck the toes underneath and lift the knees, exhaling to downward facing dog. And just gently bending one knee, releasing the opposite leg. With your breath, slowly transitioning to the other side. So
We're maintaining a connection to the breath, synchronizing breath with the movement so that your movement is supported by your breath. Lifting both heels, drawing the energy of the thighs up towards the thigh bones. Exhaling softly, lengthening your heels down towards the earth. They don't have to meet the ground. Inhaling to your knees. And then exhaling, long breath out, hips towards the heels into a child's pose. You can vary the arms there. They could be by the side with the palms facing up, or you could have your hands under the forehead, either palms stacked or fists stacked. So we want the forehead to be connected to either your mat or your hands. You can relax the shoulders, observing the gentle internal massage that takes place with the breath. And then we can bring the body back up onto the hands and the knees, inhaling. Tucking your toes, lifting your hips, exhale. Taking the right leg high, opening the hips up, option to bend the knee. It feels quite nice if we've been sitting at the desk. And then we can take the leg up straight and keep your left heel lifted, lots of space under the body as we slowly step the foot through. If you get stuck, just bring your back knee down, lift the foot up with the hand and bring it through. There's no rush. Relax the back knee down. Inhale, we'll come up. And then exhale, interlacing the hands behind the back of the body, opening the chest here. So if you would like to, if it's too strong to hold the hands behind the back of the body like this, you might like to see if you can hold your wrists with the elbows bent out to the sides. Lifting the back of the heart up through the front of the heart space. Releasing your hands, inhaling, we gently draw the front body to meet the back body. Then exhale, the hands come down, lowering the pelvis down. Stay there as we take a breath into the belly. Relaxing your shoulders, exhale. And tucking the back toe, lifting the knee up, inhaling. Stepping back slowly into downward dog, exhale. Coming to your knees, inhaling. And it's a long exhale towards child's pose. We're going to continue to flow. We inhale to come back up to the hands and the knees. Then lower your chest down slowly to the ground. Try to let the chest and the hips meet the ground at the same time. Neutral spine, inhale to your belly. Exhale, the heart lifts for a cobra. Our legs are strong. Connect the tops of the feet to the ground. Inhale a little higher. Exhale to come back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling into the belly. Heart lifts for cobra, exhale. And here we help with the hands a little. Inhale and keep your shoulders down from ears. And exhale to lower slowly back down. One more breath to the belly, inhale. Move through your knees or toes to a plank, exhaling. Inhale in your plank. Downward facing dog, exhale. Then the left leg will go high and we can open the hip and option there for the knee to bend. Try to keep the weight fairly balanced through the hands and the shoulder blades. Straightening the left leg up, lifting your right heel high, exhaling, the knee comes under the body. Remember those little steps to help you if you get stuck, and coming down onto the back knee. Inhale to lift up tall, and exhaling, interlacing the hands or holding the wrists behind the back of the body, opening up. So invite the whole spine here into this nice opening. Energizing with the inhale, expanding to the side of the ribs. Shoulder blades down as you exhale. Then release your hands, inhaling, weaving the front body to the back body. Exhale, the hands softly come down. Hips stay low. We enjoy the breath to the belly here. A little release for the front of the hips. Tucking the back toe under, lifting the knee, inhale, and this time we'll step forward to the top of the mat. Exhaling into the fold. Holding onto the opposite elbows, and an optional little sway here to allow some release into the lower back and the side of the lower waist and top of hips. Letting the head drop completely like a piece of fruit just hanging from the tree. This is beautiful for decompressing the spine. We've been sitting. Even if you're standing at a stand-up desk, we're still compressing the spine there with the gravity. And coming back into the center, head drops down, arms relax. Release your hands down. So we'll deeply bend the knees, connect belly to thighs, half lift with knees bent, inhale. And then lengthen and fold, exhale. 2 more times. Inhaling, lengthen pubic bone to the crown of head. And exhale, fold. Inhaling, bending the knees. And exhale. Gathering through the pelvic floor, keeping your knees soft as we roll slowly up through the spine. Just letting your breath stay fluid here. Once you come to standing, we can roll the shoulders out. Roll the shoulders forward, just releasing any stickiness through the shoulders, shoulder blades. And then gently making your way to Tadasana. So you can have the feet slightly apart if that gives more support to any sensitivity in the lower back, or bring the feet together. Starting by letting a breath pass through your body. Then arms will sweep wide as we inhale. Palms together through the body, fold forward, exhale. Inhaling to your half lift. And exhale to step the leg back. An option there, so left leg is back. An option is to bring your knee down if you need some extra support. We'll inhale to rise up in a high lunge. Let's breath in. Exhale, the hands come down. If your knees to the ground, lifting the back knee, inhale. And step back to downward facing dog. Exhale. Come forward into your plank, inhaling, option to your knees, lower down slowly, exhale. Inhaling, cobra, inner thighs will roll up as we ground the little toe edge of the foot. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale to the belly, through your knees or toes, exhaling. You can come to child's pose if you would like to, or through to downward dog. It's about 3 to 5 breaths here, just to neutralize the spine, balance the breath. If you're in child's pose and you would like to continue, come through to downward facing dog. So we're going to take our right leg high, inhaling. This time a little kinder, we're going to step the foot outside of the right hand. Bring your back knee down to the mat. So you're welcome to pop some support under that back knee if you need it. You could use your blanket or towel. If you have a block, it could be handy here under the left hand. You could also use some books. Inhaling, the right arm reaches up. Exhaling into a twist towards the right side. Keeping our hips low here. Option to bend your back knee and take hold of the top of the foot. This is just an optional layer. Don't feel that you have to tie yourself up into a knot if it feels a little too much. The breath remains the priority. If you're quite comfortable here, you could also take the block away and rest on the hand or even onto the left forearm if you're fairly open through the hips. And then we can gently release the foot if we're choosing to hold on to it. Reach the back arm up, inhale. Exhale, the hand comes back down onto the ground. We can take any supports away. Lift the back knee, inhaling. Lift the heart and step back, downward dog, exhale. So when we say lift the heart, we're lifting the back of the heart, pushing the hands into the ground. Inhaling to lift your heels. Bend the knees, look forward. Now you can step or jump through between the hands. Half lift slowly, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Arms to sweep wide, inhaling to stand. And through to the heart, exhale. And a slow breath back through the body. Dropping back in to the breath. Its potency and potential for connecting us to the present moment. And the arms sweep wide, inhaling. Exhale to fold forward. Drop the head completely. Inhale, flat spine, half lift. And the right leg steps back, and you have the option of bringing that back knee down for a little more support. Inhale, we'll rise up. And we stay for the exhale. Lengthen to the little fingertips. Exhale, the hands come back down. If the back knee is to the ground, lifting the knee. Inhale, lengthening the upper back. Step back through to downward dog. Exhale. Inhale to your high plank, gathering the lower navel. Lower slowly, exhale. Choose cobra, or if you like, upward dog. We lift the knees off the mat for upward dog. And then exhaling through choosing child's pose or downward facing dog. And then if you're in child's pose, coming through to downward dog, you could also transition on the hands and knees here. We'll take our left leg up, inhaling, and step it to the outside of the left foot. Bring the back knee down to the mat, using extra support under the back knee if you need to. Left foot turns out a little, so we've got some space into the hips. Block comes to support us if we need extra support. Inhaling up through that left arm. Exhale to twist to the left side. Lovely opening of the chest here. Lengthening out to the little finger with the palm facing up. And then you have the option of bending the back knee and taking hold of the foot. Staying with a nice slow, full belly breath. Since my gym has closed, I have started doing some hill runs, and I'm really noticing that in the practice today, the demands that it's having on the hips and the thighs. We can release the back foot down slowly if you have taken that bind. And together, inhaling, the left arm comes up. Exhale to place it down inside of the left foot, removing your props if you're using props. Then we lift the back knee up. So let's press into the hands, dome the back of the heart up. We can feel some of our core muscles engaging to pick up that left foot and step it back into downward facing dog. Together, lifting both heels, inhale, lengthening the heels softly, exhale, pull the thighs back to thigh bones. Inhale to come through to high plank and slowly lower through to the ground together, exhaling. Just take a little cobra, inhaling. And exhale to lower down. So we're going to place the right knee out to the side into a 90-degree angle. We can flex the foot there, and if you feel like there's a lot of pressure to the inside of the right knee, just put a little soft support. You can pop a t-shirt or your towel. And then lifting up here into a Sphinx pose. So we can see the creases of the elbows if we look down. The upper arms are not on an exact vertical line, and that just relieves a little bit of pressure through the shoulders and neck. Dropping back into the full breath. So, how long we stay in these slightly longer holds, it's just a guide from me. If you feel like you need to come out sooner than when I guide you out, just gently releasing with control and your breath supporting you. Otherwise, we're settling here for about 4 more breaths. With an exhalation, elbows go wide and we slowly lengthen down.
And keeping your right knee where it is, rest on the left cheek and taking our right elbow over towards that right knee. So we're creating a little half moon shape through that left side of the torso up through to the left elbow. Here we're breathing space across the lower back, so there's a broadening across the pelvis and the lower back. And a gentle opportunity to open up the inner right thigh and groin. You might like to invite the exhalation to be a little longer than the inhalation here. Only working to the length of the breath that's comfortable for you. We don't want to lengthen the breath so much that it starts to cause stress to the respiratory system or the nervous system. Melting heart and shoulders. And we're gently going to come back to the center firstly with the spine. And then sliding the right leg out. And you might like to have just a little bit of a rock of the hips here. Then between sides, we'll just settle, a nice earthy belly breath. And taking our left knee out to the side, knees bent, giving support to the inside of the knee joint if you need to. And the option here to add the layer of the Sphinx pose. So there's a gentle compression through the left lower side of the back around the kidney area. But if it feels sharp or too impinging for you, then that could be an indication that this is too strong for you, if it's not right today. So you can always come back down with the chest. Or you could modify by straightening the left leg out and just coming to our traditional Sphinx pose. So we're settling into the breath. Nothing but the breath. And as you exhale, long breath out, elbows wide, creating some length to the spine as we slowly lower back down. Keeping the left knee wide, turn to rest on the right cheek, and then left elbow moves closer to the left knee, creating that C shape, the half moon shape, from the right elbow at the top of the mat down through to the outer right hip. And you're lengthening the exhalations, broadening across the lower back, inviting some space where often we feel a lot of density through this area of the lower back and pelvis. So we can balance that density with the softness, the fluidity of the breath.
And just before we get too sleepy, we can start to come back slowly to the center with the spine. And then lengthening the left leg out, and if you would like to, just a little rock of your hips. And pausing there for the breath through the body. And slowly we're going to release into a child's pose. Make sure you have some support for the lower back with a lift of your pelvic floor. So it's like a little internal zip from behind the pubic bone to behind the navel, zipping up and then slowly pressing through your hands and knees, just guiding yourself gently back through into child's pose. We don't want to rush that transition as we've moved from one directional movement of the spine into the opposite. And then slowly coming up to sit. And you can just face towards your screen here, the most comfortable way for you to sit. This could be kneeling or cross-legged, sitting on cushions. You could even sit on a little stool if that's better for you here. Okay, so just once you're in your comfortable seat, we'll balance the breath through the spine with the crown of the head above the tailbone. And then we can take the arms out wide with an inhalation, lengthening through to the tips of the fingers. Take your right arm across the body as you exhale, and then just being careful of this little microphone here, just holding on to the outside of that straight arm, and we can turn the thumb down. Not too sure how that's going to sound for you. Be careful you don't turn the shoulders too much towards the left side, so try to keep the shoulders fairly centered. As we come to these slightly simpler asanas and releases, it's an opportunity for you to drop a little deeper in the mind and internally have that awareness. Then we're going to inhale the right arm out wide and exhale the arm behind your back now. You can rest the back of the hand to the lower back, or another layer would be to take it to the outside of the left side of the waist, interlace your fingers, and then we're taking our left ear towards the left shoulder. So if you're not able to interlace the fingers, just resting the hand behind but still dropping the ear towards the shoulder. So we have that beautiful release through the right side of your neck. And then the chin can drop gently down towards the left collarbone. Taking the ear back to the left shoulder and slowly up to the center. Release your hands to sweep wide, inhaling. Take your time through the long exhale to gently bring the hands back down to the earth. Just connecting with the earth, the grounding support. And then just moving through the second side, so inhaling our arms out wide, taking the left arm across the body as you exhale, and we'll just hold on to the outside of the left arm,
turning the thumb down so your palm faces away from you. We can nourish the breath here to the left shoulder blade. Then taking your left arm wide with an inhale. Exhaling, the hand comes behind the back of the body, resting the hand behind the back or adding the layer of interlacing to the right side of your waist and hip. And then we can take the right ear down gently towards the right shoulder. I love to feel my breath here into the left forearm, with the left forearm just resting at the lower lobes of the lungs there. And option to take your chin down a little towards the right collarbone, just transitioning that release further towards the back of the neck on the left side. Let the forehead get a little heavy. And bringing your ear back towards the shoulder. And slowly back up to the center. And one more time, inhaling to sweep the arms wide. Exhale slowly. We can notice the moment that the fingertips connect to the mat. And then we're just going to come into a little lift of the hips. So you can use your rolled up towel, or you could use a block or some books. I'll show you first with the rolled up towel. Once we're settled there, if you're looking for some more guidance into the blocks or the books option, I'll demonstrate those for you. So we're just going to lie down onto our backs with bent knees and have the feet just slightly wide of the width of your hips, so we have a little more space into the sacrum and the lower back. Nice slow breath into your belly. Exhaling completely, grounding down through the feet. With your inhale, pressing into the feet, little engagement of the muscles around the hips and buttocks to lift the hips up. And we can slide here either your block, books, or rolled up towel down to the base of the spine where it meets the top of your hips. It's the crest of the pelvis. If you're taking one of the lower height options, particularly if you're working with the rolled up towel, it's quite nice here to see how it feels to straighten the legs out. If you're feeling like that's compressing into the lower back, rebend the knees. Otherwise, a beautiful, gentle opening of the front of the hip flexors to give a little antidote to the sitting. So if you're working with the blocks or the books and you're not too sure, just demonstrate the positioning there. Don't turn your head to the screen unless you absolutely have to. Try and keep your neck neutral. So I'll just slide the towel out, grab the block or a nice heavy textbook of some sort, and then I'm breathing into the belly. I'm not going to rush this. Exhaling, earthing through the feet. And activate the glutes, press into the feet, lifting. If you lift and you cramp your hamstrings, that's a little indication that the glutes need to give a little bit more help to your hamstrings. So our block is going underneath the lower back here. You've got 3 height options. This is your highest option. If it feels too strong, we lift up and just lower it down to this one, or even lower again. There shouldn't be any compressive feeling through the lower back. So just dropping into this space, into each breath, noticing any subtle shifts in sensation, the movement of energy here. If you have your legs out straight, just re-bending your knees one at a time. As we release from here, we need to be very slow and controlled to get the full benefits. So we're pressing into the feet, engaging the glutes, the muscles around the hips and buttocks. And then lifting the hips, sliding any supports out from underneath, and very slowly controlling the lowering of the spine down. I have a little internal lift through my pelvic floor. Try and control the knees as well, so they're not swaying or dipping in or going wide. Beautiful placement with awareness of the hips and lower back onto the mat. Feels like magic. At least one breath before you move your legs. And then if you feel that you need a little spinal twist, like we did at the beginning of the class, you could work through a spinal twist to each side. You could come straight into a relaxation in Shavasana, or if you would like to, you can bend your knees into your chest. Happy baby poses there is an option, or if you're not too sure about happy baby pose, a nice modification that I enjoy is the knees are wide, the big toes are touched. I'm holding inside of my shins and knees, and just a little downward pressure through the hands with straight arms, focusing on lengthening the spine here, lots of space for the hips. Earthy belly breath wherever you are. And just taking your time, don't rush through any of these final releases, but when you are ready, we're going to take our time to come into Shavasana. If you know that you would like to enjoy a long Shavasana here in your practice, you could press pause now and then just allow yourself to drift into this beautiful presence. Otherwise, we'll just enjoy a minute or two, nourishing, receiving and releasing. Receiving and releasing the breath. Receiving and releasing any thoughts or emotions, and allowing them to pass through. Taking your time, start to gently spark the breath and some slow movement through the body. And we can bend the knees gently, ground the feet and stretch the arms over the head. Then you could bring your knees into the chest and take the hands to the top of the shins. Relax the shoulders, melt the tension. Rolling onto one arm, onto the side of the body. Just take your time here. And you can make your way slowly to the most comfortable seat for you. Just keeping our gaze soft or the eyes closed. Continuing to hold space for the breath. Hold space in your heart for any emotions or thoughts as they pass through. And bring the palms together into our heart space in Anjali Mudra. And just with gratitude for this practice that allows us to connect to ourselves and also to connect to the universal energy and vibration. Holding each other, supporting each other. And we can gently bow forward here. We honor the beautiful divine light within each other. And then seeing that same divine light in all beings. Namaste. Okay. So thank you for taking time, creating space to do the practice. And please, I love receiving any feedback, any comments, things that you would like to do. Please let me know and I'll include them in the classes and share them with anyone that you think may benefit from them or enjoy them too. So thank you.